Hey team, welcome to the next fitness show. My name's Alexis Craig, and you're here for episode 93. Thank you so much for being here. Today's show, we are talking about Friendsgiving. So it's right now, it is Friday, November 21st. It is the Friday before Thanksgiving. So this is totally the season where Friendsgiving is a thing. So we're going to talk about Friendsgiving. We have a great show for you. We have an amazing guest that I'll introduce to you in just a second. We also have a stretch break halfway through this show to get you moving a little bit. And we have a move of the week. So we can break down a strength move that you maybe would like to get a little bit deeper with. And this is a production of The Next Fitness Thing. So we are a online fitness and wellness platform. You can check us out at thenextfitnessthing.com. You can find us on all the socials at The Next Fitness Thing as well. And yeah, without further ado, if you're here live, I encourage you, first of all, push like on this video. And second, go into the chat right now and say hi so I can see who is here. I can see already Carol says hi. My mom's in here and says hi. Nice. All right, welcome. Okay, so today's topic is Friendsgiving. So I am going to just bring this in right here. Friendsgiving. Friendsgiving, you may be thinking of this as an event. You might think of it as your extra Thanksgiving dinner that you would spend with your friends. And I'm here to offer that Friendsgiving is more than just a dinner that you have with people who aren't invited to your normal Thanksgiving dinner. That really, this is an opportunity for you to really celebrate and get together with whatever way you can with your chosen family. So, our special guest today is Rachel. And Rachel, I'm going to bring you in right now. Um, Rachel and I've been chatting a little bit right now, and I'm just so grateful to have you here, Rachel. Rachel, last week on the show, we had Erin from Project Soulflower, and Rachel is a mom of a dreamer from Project Soulflower. Rachel, will you introduce yourself a little bit? Just tell us who you are, where you live, anything else you want us to know?
Sure. My name is Rachel Austin, and I live in a suburb of Denver, Colorado. I'm a native. My previous life took me places around the United States, but here now, and I love it. Love the sunshine and the mountains. Um, Grew up here all my life, and got married, had some beautiful two boys,
Oh,
and unfortunately, I guess. Well, do you want me to keep going, or do
yeah,
you?
go ahead.
Okay. My youngest son will be 21 in January. His name is Aiden, and my oldest son Ryan, unfortunately passed away about 19 months ago from a rare cancer.
Oh,
He was diagnosed in April of 23 and passed away unfortunately in April of 24.
wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I imagine that first of all, that this time of year is brings up a lot for you. And I mean, I've been through my own share of family medical trauma too. It feels to me like it's like you really get to see the way that people show up for you when you get into the situation like that. So what would you say? How do you know who's kind of your real friend? I mean, how did your different friends kind of show up for you through that whole process?
It's really interesting when it was happening and Ryan was diagnosed and kind of started his treatment. I felt like people were really good at showing up. I felt like I'm blessed with a good amount of friends. I have a group of friends that I've known since I was 7 years old. We refer to ourselves as the OGs.
Aw.
And then I have a really good group of friends that I've known since high school. And so I feel like everyone was really good at showing up. Um, and I think, at the time, you're sort of lost in this world of treatment and just managing life. And I was still working full time and just trying to be mom and, care for my son. And so I think maybe it didn't feel as like I was as alone. But
Hmm.
I can say that after he passed, I think people were good about showing up for a month. Um,
Mm.
but then I think it just kind of has dwindled. Maybe sporadically in the months after. I'm really good about posting on on the 13th was the day that he passed. And so even if it's just a reminder for me or his friends, I kind of, do a little post. And so sometimes people will respond to that. But as far as them being good about reaching out beyond that, it's been, it gets pretty quiet sometimes. And so I've just learned that our society doesn't really talk about grief or how to
Hmm.
show up for people in grief. Um, and I'm grateful. I don't wish this on anyone. Um, but I think it would be so helpful for people that have got, are going through grief. If you've got someone that that's going through it, to just find ways to reach out and, educate yourself on how to show up. Sometimes for me, I think a simple like, I don't know how to show up for you. I want to be here for you. I want to, what can I do? And if you, I think just even saying I don't know what to say is better than just staying silent or not reaching out
Right,
to someone.
right, right. It's just like, I care about you and I want you to know that.
Yeah.
And I don't
And
really
I
know what
think
else
it's
to
just,
do, but what can I do?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. I think it's just creating a safe space for people, or for your person. Sometimes they don't want to talk about it, sometimes they do, but just allowing that safe space, I think, for people is just really important. And I'm sure that looks different for everyone,
right.
but I think too, I've learned that friendships will evolve and
Hmm.
possibly change. And I've learned a lot about myself in the past year, um, and kind of what works for me. And so I think, it's just being able to be vulnerable enough to say, like, this doesn't work for me anymore, or this is how I have to show up, and just know that if I show up this way, that they may not react the way that I hope that they will. And I
Hmm.
have to be okay with that.
Right. Yeah. I really hear you mentioning this like sense of vulnerability as strength. And I can just feel how, in our culture, a lot of times this vulnerability is seen as weakness, or it's like you're sort of encouraged to not show vulnerability. And really, at least through my lens, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, especially in the face of people that you love, it's really a strength and it's a way to be able to share your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I, so I guess I'm really curious to hear more about your son, more about how, like, I know we were introduced through Erin and she was talking about how the bucket list dreams, we talked about that last week. Like,
Wow.
what did that part actually look like for you on your end?
So, Ryan was, when he was diagnosed, he was about 10 days out from graduating from the University of Kansas.
Oh,
So,
wow.
KU Jayhawk.
Oh.
And he was also a SIG Ep. He was in a fraternity, and had done that for the 4 years. And so I think when this all happened, it just sort of happened out of the blue. I mean, he was really healthy for his entire life,
Hmm.
and just never had any problems, no hospitalizations, nothing. And so I think, everything was pretty much a whirlwind for us when we found out that he was, that he had stage 4 cancer. It had spread, it had started in the soft tissue. It's called alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma,
Okay.
and it's a soft tissue sarcoma. It started in his hand.
Wow.
And it's not common, I don't believe, to start in your hand. And so I think that they were unsure of what kind of, what this was. But all that to say, I think his life just pretty much got upended. He was excited to move to a new city and start a new job and live life, and was just really excited about his future. And so
Hmm.
that's also what makes this hard. So I think when this happened and he was, we moved him home to Denver,
Hmm.
and to start his treatment. And he tried to take a little job just to keep himself busy. It was just working from home with a neighbor. Um, but I think meeting the team from Project Soulflower was such a blessing for us because it was able to give him something to look forward to. Um,
Hmm.
they work with the team of nurses and doctors that we had in order to find a good time for him to do, something like, can we make this happen? This is a dream. We have these resources. We'd love to do this for your family. And so it was cool because they were able to work with, our team to find a good time for this. Ryan did really well in his treatment. He started a trial at the beginning of June, and initially, it went really well till November 1st, and then a new tumor popped up, and so that kind of
Hmm.
changed the course. But I think in the middle of that, having the bucket list for him was just a way for him to have something to look forward to. Um,
Hmm.
Even through his treatment, we learned to manage the weeks and what he could do and what he couldn't do. Um, he had a 3 week cycle, the first being the hardest, and the other two fairly mild for him. And so we were really good about letting him live his life. That was going out on the weekends, hanging out with his friends, flying in on a plane to see, his girlfriend, whatever that was. We were really good about letting him continue to live his life when he felt like it. And so it was cool because they just creating the bucket list, I think, was obviously scary, but also like something to just really, take your mind off of it. And what I loved about it is like, I feel like people could talk a big talk, but they really followed through on that for him. And so one of the first things he did was able to play a foursome of golf in Eagle, Colorado, at a really nice golf course up there. And so his dad, his brother, and then his one of his best friends flew out, and so they did that. They treated them. They had lunch for them, swag. They were able to pick polo shirts out. And so that was really cool to be able to, do something he wouldn't normally get to do, play at a course he wouldn't normally get to play at.
Yeah.
He loved golf. And then the F1 race in Austin, Texas was his big dream. And so Project Soulflower, got us amazing tickets, a parking pass, paid for our Airbnb, like everything. And so it was
Oh.
just really cool, something, our family could enjoy together. Excuse me. And so it was really fun to be able to experience that with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's just so sweet to hear. And thank you
Okay.
for sharing all of this with us too. Um, and this is our second time to do this a 5K with Project Soulflower. So we've been hearing a lot of the stories, like reading the stories and hearing we heard from Aaron and that kind of thing, but it's really sweet to be able to hear like because it impacted you directly and to hear your actual experience of the way that it goes. So I
Yeah,
really
and they're
appreciate you.
really great. And I think along the lines of Friendsgiving, Ryan developed the most incredible friendships at KU. And a lot of people will say, like, aren't you sad that he was away for 4 years, knowing what you know now?
Mm,
And, I love the time with him, but at the same time, like it created who he was. And so he had, his friends made this book for him,
I'm gonna put you
and
on
it's
spotlight
memories.
so that
Yeah.
you can see it.
So it's all
Aw.
these memories, and it's filled with pictures of the kids' stories of how he impacted their lives. And it's just really special, to see him and how he cultivated these friendships and, really tapped into that. And, a lot of the theme throughout is like his laugh and how he was always willing to do something. But one of the cool things, I read it often, but one of the cool things is like a lot of them, the boys will say like, he was always a person I could come to when I didn't really want to talk to anybody else. And so I think that's just kind of the same thing, like just showing up, for people in any
Yeah.
aspect. It's hard because they're like, want to be like, why him? How, and I'll never get those answers. But for a kid that lived his life so big and, had the biggest, best smile and laugh, and it's just hard to understand and comprehend why him, but I have to be proud of how he chose to show up for his friends. Um,
Mm,
each day, and he was just always doing something. So it's pretty fun to, you know, have that memory for him, knowing that he was so good to all of his friends.
nice. That's beautiful. I love hearing how it's like you're speaking about how your friends being supportive has been important, but also how just him and his friends was supportive throughout the process. And honestly, it looks like his friends being supportive is like still supporting you right now that they even gave him that amazing gift that's now a gift for you, actually.
Yeah, it's been cool. And like last year, so his friends really show up. So his girlfriend was in a sorority at KU. She was a Kappa. And so they had a group of about 30 of them, SIG Eps and Kappas, and they called themselves Salmon Friday. And so they had a group chat, and they just were always together. I mean, it's like a camaraderie of what are we doing today? What are we doing on Free Beer Friday? Whatever. And the cool thing is that those kids, 50 kids, flew out here to be here for his service.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of the parents that I had become really close with. And the boys, what I love the most is that and the girls too, but the boys are so good about including me and texting me often. And there was a big rivalry. Ryan was a huge Bronco fan, and a majority of the boys are from Kansas City, so they're
Okay.
Chiefs fans.
Uh-huh.
So they would always have a rivalry, always watch the game, and you know just even on Sunday when we played the Chiefs, one of the boys reached out and said, "Hey, thinking about you. I know Ryan's watching from above.
Aw.
Um, I hope they don't win, but I'll let it go if it's for Ryan." And so it's just cool because they just always like send me a random text like, "Hey, thinking about you, or heard this song, or found this video. Just wanted to share it, thinking about you." And so, sorry.
Nothing to be sorry for. It's like, I mean, it's touching, and I mean, it's also your tears are welcome too. It's
Thank
not
you.
like you have to.
It's just cool that, like I say, Ryan left me with like 50 additional kids
Aw.
to take care of. And so it's really cool though, because they've also shown up for his brother.
Mm.
And so, last year, Ryan's birthday is on January 17th and Aiden's birthday is January 15th. And so
Oh, wow.
we flew to Kansas City to be with everyone. And the kids just showed up for 2 days. They just came out and spent time with us. And it's just cool because I can feel him there, even though I know he's not there. I tell myself, oh, he's in the bathroom. He's talking to a friend over here. And so it's just cool to have that, because I know that they know him. They lived with him for 4 years, and they spent so much time with him. And so I love that there are people that genuinely know him and care about him. Um, and last year, they all pooled their money together and donated $1,500 to Project Soulflower in his
Aw,
name.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
so that was cool.
Yeah. I know we were talking a little bit before the show. You are totally on your into fitness yourself, and I'm right before the show. I think you worked out right before this
Yeah,
today.
which is why I look
Um,
like this.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's how we're all in here all the time. So, I mean, to be honest, in the 6 a.m. class, I'm like in my pajamas 95% of
That
the
would be me. That
time.
would be me.
Um, anyway, but I would love to just hear a little bit about how fitness has played a role in the past couple of years of your life and yeah, like what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think I was I like in high school and growing up I was a dancer, a gymnast, cheerleader. But I think as
Me
life kind of
too.
went on, yay! I love that. As life kind of went on, I just sort of like was like, I'd spend some time working out, like going to the gym, like lifting primarily. I
Hmm.
love Zumba because of my dance background, but
Hmm.
I was never very committed. And then about 3 years ago, my neighbor invited me to a HIIT workout gym called
Nice.
F45.
Oh
And
yeah. Uh-huh.
it's nice because it's primarily 40 to 45 minutes long.
Right.
So it's kind of nice that, be able to get in, get out. I love being able to show up and just tell me what to do. I'll
Hmm.
do it. And there's a community there, which I love. And so when I started that, little did I know that it would be integral in my mental health, really. I just started being committed to it. And then even, when Ryan was diagnosed, it was just one thing that I felt like I was doing for me, and it was really important to me. I made it a priority, where I hadn't in the past.
Hmm.
And so I've also built a community there, meeting people, going to the same classes, or
Yep.
just people there became really friendly. And, a lot of them learned about Ryan being sick and would just check in on me often. And so, like I was sharing with you, when Ryan got sick, for the last 6 weeks of his life were really, really hard. And we had to have two people with him at all times. And that was still one thing that I prioritized for myself, as his primary caregiver 24/7 those last 6 weeks. I just still tried to be committed to that. And obviously, there were days that were hard, but it was also a mental break for me, um,
Hmm.
to kind of just check out of the reality, the crappy reality of my life.
Right.
And so it was really cool because after Ryan passed, I had actually lost my job. And
Oh.
so I know it was like another blow.
Hmm.
Um, and the gym gave me 6 months free. And so that was just a huge blessing for me. To
Mm.
just kind of motivate me to continue to not give up, to stay
Right.
strong, and to have that break and that mental
And
break.
even just to show you that they love you and they value you being
Yeah.
there, like it's just
Yeah, and I think that's like the whole theme too, is just the community, like community of friends, community in life. I just think, with Project Soulflower, it's been cool because, uh, cool is probably not the best word, but
it's
it's been
okay.
nice to have, other moms. I've been able to connect with other moms that have
Mm,
gone through this.
I see.
And so it's like I can talk to my friends, or, that are moms, or just my friends in general. But I just think until you've gone through something like this, losing your child to cancer, or losing in general, a child at all, but I think it's just we can empathize with one another and know that we have these commonalities. You can say things that you might not be able to say to everyone else, and people just kind of get it. And
Right.
so that's another great thing about the community of Project Soulflower, being able to meet these women and kind of have this commonality and this bond that we can connect on when needed.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it sounds like you're still involved. I mean, from what I've heard from Aaron at least that you go to the events and stuff. What does it look like for you now?
Yeah, so last year I was able to participate in the walk. We did it at a park and it was a beautiful day. And so it's
Nice.
just fun. I love just supporting. I mean, they were just there for us, when it counted for Ryan the most. And so, I just believe in the organization. They do what they say they're going to do. And it's just really, they'll always be part of my life, our life. I'd love to start an organization for Ryan, something that was passionate for him, but at the same time, they'll always be part of, our story. And I just love supporting, like, they'll have shopping days, which is, not great for my pocketbook, but also I know it's for a good cause. Um, and then just things like, so tomorrow my sister lives in Louisiana, and she's
Okay.
also huge into fitness. She's a fitness instructor in Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
But last year and this year, she's doing her own virtual, 5K. So it's cool
Nice.
that, other people participate too. And like I said, the donations from his friends and our friends, and it's just like I believe in them so much, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, I just will always support whenever I can. And plus, it's a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun people, so they're good people.
Aw, that's amazing. Well, we are having tomorrow, for those of you who are here live tomorrow, on November 22nd is the Friendsgiving 5K. So there is an in-person version, which I imagine, Rachel, you're going to the in-person version?
I actually cannot do that tomorrow, so I'm bummed. I had something already on my calendar
Oh,
that
no worries.
I'm gonna do. Probably either sleep in and donate, because you can also do that.
Right.
Sleep in and donate as well.
And then the other one is we're having a virtual 5K concurrently, and that will be recorded. So if you wanted to, or if your sister wanted to, you can join our virtual 5K that's happening at the same time as the in-person one. And I'm going to be leading it. It's 55 minutes. And with that, we have done a lot of these in the past. Basically, we lead the 5K, you have your own tracker. So basically, you would turn on Strava or whatever you use as a 5K tracker, but we'll be in a Zoom together, everybody who's doing the 5K. People don't turn their cameras on, so you don't have to like
You're
worry
like,
about like, hey, like it's not like
you're
that.
sweating.
Yeah. Or you're like looking at the inside of
Yeah,
somebody's pocket or something. But we are really active in the chat as we go through for the 5K. So
that's
as we
fun.
go through, people are cheering each other on. Plus, I'm on the microphone the whole time. And it also shows on the screen this little pace thing so that you can
Oh, that's
see how
cool.
far and a timer and that kind of thing also. And then as people, especially as people hit 1 mile or 2 miles or 3 miles or 5K, then the chat just like blows up with everybody cheering each other on. And then I'm there also to make sure that you don't have to really read the chat while you're trying to do the 5K. So I can read the chat out loud and make sure everybody knows what's being said and everything. So
I
anyway,
love that.
if the virtual version works for you, then that is happening and it's also being recorded, so you can do the
Cool.
recording even if you can't do it at that exact time. So
Perfect.
cool. All right. Is there anything else that you want to say about Friendsgiving or anything like that before we move on?
Oh gosh, I feel like I covered a little bit of things.
Yeah, you don't have to. There's nothing
I don't
specific
know.
you need
I'm
to
just
say.
trying
I
to
just want
look
to
at
make sure
my,
you feel free.
yeah, like I just said, I just am so grateful for them as a community. And I think it's just like, I think it's a perfect opportunity to share, like, just showing up for people, those in your life, and I think the thing for me too has been like the expectation of that. And so I also want to be mindful, like when I'm going through this myself, I want people to reach out to me, but I also have to be mindful enough to remember to reach out to others as well.
Hmm.
Can't be a one, even though I can say in my head, oh, well, I'm the one that lost my son, people should be reaching out to me. I also need, in return, can reach out to people and let them know. Being intentional with people, I think, is really important. And just a reminder for that sometimes we have a lot of problems, but everybody does. And so it's just nice to be able to equally show up for someone else instead of always hoping that someone will reach out to you.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I totally hear you. And I just can hear so much wisdom in all that you've shared. And I'm just so appreciative of your vulnerability and you're willing to come here and to be part of this too. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we still have a little bit more of the show. So
Okay.
Marissa's in the chat right now, and she says, I lost my brother many years ago. I call my mom on his birthday and on the anniversary of his death every year, and many people have dropped off with support. Yeah, I think that is
The other thing I
totally.
was going to mention, I think is cool for people that, I'm sure if you don't know someone that's lost someone significant, and grief and loss, it changes, like losing a parent or losing a spouse. Like it's all important. And it affects people in different ways. But one of the coolest things that, and no, and not a lot of people have done this. I've only had one person do this. But I think it's cool to call out because it's something we, moving forward, if you've never heard about this, can do for someone. And for me, it's like a very impactful. On his 1 year, a friend and I, one of my best friends and I just went to lunch. I had zero expectations that day. I kind of put nothing on my mind to have to do. Um, but our waitress came to the table and she's like, "Oh, are you here celebrating something like today?" And I just kind of clammed up, and my friend said, "Well, we're not really celebrating." She's like, "We're honoring her son that she lost a year ago today." And she was probably 22, 23, and just sat there and looked at me and said, "Will you please tell me about him?" You know? And so I don't think a lot of people know what to say when you say you've lost someone. So just the call out to like ask about them, say, "Would you tell me about him or her? Would you share a little bit about them?" That like is so incredible. And because I will always speak about him. I never want his spirit to be lost. His, personality was super big. He lived his life really big. And so I'm always happy to share. And I think that a lot of people think asking about that person or talking about them is hard, and it can be hard, but I also think it's life-giving, and it gives life to their story and who they were and who they are. And so I just encourage people to like not be afraid to ask about them, because I can guarantee you that they will probably want to share.
Hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really helpful to hear these things that are helpful on your end so that it's like helping your friends know how to be a better friend to you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Carol says, "Thank you for sharing. It helps to know my donation supports the dreamers when they need it the most."
Hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it really
Um,
does.
and Marissa says, "I went out to lunch on my brother's birthday this year." Nice. Yeah,
Love
same. Cool.
that.
Okay. So Rachel, you'll stay with us for a little bit longer as we go through some of this other stuff. It's time for our mid-show stretch break. So it is stretch break time. Okay, I encourage you guys to actually do the stretch, physically do it. The stretch today is called shoulder cars. Now, this is a controlled articulated rotation. That's why we call it a CAR, C-A-R, controlled articulated rotation. So this is essentially an opportunity for you to open your shoulders. Now, you can see Veronica doing this in the picture and pick one arm. Your thumb points up like you're going to shake hands with somebody, and it reaches all the way up by your ear. When it gets to your ear, your palm faces back, and you reach all the way around and down to the back nice and slowly. And then you come back the other way, palm faces up on the way up, and then bring it all the way down to your side. Good. And switch to the other one. Other hand, thumb points up all the way up to your ear. Palm faces back at the top, around and back. And then palm faces up on the way up, coming up to your ear and forward and down. I encourage you to keep going with this. Now, this move is really awesome for, especially for shoulder mobility. And it is an awesome opportunity for you to be able to mobilize your shoulder and keep it moving. So frozen shoulder is a thing, and especially for women, and especially for women who are in perimenopause or older, frozen shoulder is really a thing. The more that you can mobilize your shoulders and allow for your shoulders to keep moving, the more you're going to keep access to being able to move your shoulders. Because with frozen shoulder, it's like you can't get your hand above your head. You can't reach up to grab something overhead or do your hair maybe, or reach to the change a light bulb or whatever it might look like over your head. So shoulder cars are really awesome for keeping your shoulder capsule moving. And if you get to a place in there where you feel some pain, I encourage you to get like curious with it. I'm not telling you to push through pain, but I'm really encouraging you to get curious what position. Oh, I can feel it right there. And just kind of feel the edges of the spot. And if you find any spots that make a clunk or if it kind of gets stuck, then those are the kind of things that you want to be really mindful of. Okay. Rachel, did you just do that with us?
Yeah, I did. I did it over here because the walls were.
Nice. Cool. How was your shoulder
Actually just
card?
lifted. My shoulders are not great, and so it felt really good to do that. And I had just done some good shoulders yesterday and today, so that was perfect.
Cool. Awesome. Love it. All right. And so from there, we are going to go into our move of the week. Our move of the week this week is Farmer Carry. All right, so Wayne is here doing not just a farmer carry, but basically a farmer's march. And my understanding of the reason this is called a farmer's carry is because it's like you're holding two big heavy things in your hands. Maybe they'd be buckets of water, maybe they would be bales of hay. They could really be anything. It could be anything. And you're essentially walking with that with a neutral spine. Now, these days I am sort of literally a farmer right now, and this move is something that you do all the time anyway, right? You don't have to be a farmer for the farmer carry to be helpful for you. It could be carrying groceries. It could be carrying anything, really. But this is a really great way for you to not only train your grip strength, but to work strength into your posture. It's a core stabilizer, and it also adds a little bit more instability and a little bit more weight for your legs as well for building strength. Um, Rachel, do you have any thoughts on farmer carry?
No, I love it too. And we do that sometimes at the gym with a ball or
Oh,
the kettlebell. Um, just depends on kind of what the movement is. But yeah, I like it. And another thing, sometimes if we don't walk, we'll do them stationary and just kind of hold your leg up as long as you can and then let it down. It just kind of helps, your core build and engage your core a little bit more. But yeah, I love it
nice.
actually. Sometimes too, we'll do that and we'll walk length of the gym or whatever. So yeah, I actually really love those.
Cool. I recently did a farmer carry. I was carrying worm tea, which is basically liquid worm juice. So I had two
Cute.
5-gallon buckets, and it's like you don't want it to
Mm-mm.
spill.
No, not at
It's
all.
kind of liquid gold also. It's really valuable for your garden. You don't want it to spill, and each 5-gallon bucket, I think 1 gallon's something like 8 pounds. And so, 8 times 5 is 40, I guess. So if you have two of those, it's like
Yeah.
80-pound farmer carry. It was not easy at all. The grip
Actually,
is like the hardest.
what reminds me of that is lately I've been actually carrying my groceries out of the grocery store. So
Nice.
one day I had Topo Chico, a box of that, and my groceries, and I just carried them instead of carting out. So it's kind of the same a little bit.
That's awesome.
No
What
high knees, no high knees.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of funny if you were walking to your car
Yeah,
like
people are like, what is she doing?
what kind of bag are you carrying your groceries in that you can carry them all at the same
Well,
time?
we have to here have your own bags, and
You
so like,
do?
can you?
Colorado's a
Yeah,
treasure.
they have brown bags now, but I would obviously not want to carry that out. I have to carry it like a ball, or in my two arms. But it's just like a plastic tote from the U.S. Open that I got, and I
Nice.
fill it up and carry it out.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
great. Yeah. So if you have anything, if anybody who's here, if you want to drop it in the chat, anything that you've been farmer carrying, drop that. We want to hear what you've been farmer carrying around. Let's hear it.
maybe
All right.
kids, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be ski season. I always think
Oh,
it's so
see,
funny
yeah,
when you see the kids and they have their little, some of them have like the harness on where they're like attached with the leash to their parents. Some of them just have like their jacket or something, and the parents like grabbing them by the back of the neck
yeah.
like they're a cat or something.
Let me just take you around.
Uh-huh. Okay, so from there, we're going to go through a little bit of announcements. First announcement is the same Friendsgiving 5K we've been talking about this whole time. So this is coming up tomorrow, or depends when you're watching this, but it is Saturday, November 22nd. This is happening at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 10 a.m. Mountain Time for those of you doing this in person. And that is noon for Eastern folks. Work your time zones accordingly. You still have time to donate. It's thenextfitnessthing.com/friendsgiving5k. There's a shirt, there's a link to just donate if you want to. If you go to this URL, you'll find all the details about everything that you need, and you can still join. It's not too late to join. You can totally still join. So thenextfitnessthing.com/friendsgiving5k. If you'd like to join this Friendsgiving 5K event, you have 55 minutes. And I just also want to say, I know when people say 5K, you usually think of running. And Of course, you're welcome to run. Rachel and I were talking before this about how running is a past tense activity. And that for both of us, really, and that you're welcome to do anything to get to 5K. You could walk, you could roller skate, ride a bike. What's your
Yeah,
favorite way to get to 5K these days, Rachel?
walk,
Yeah, me too.
walk. That's all I'll be doing. Like I said, most running I do is on the tennis court, but I last year
Oh,
just walked and it was great. Walked with some friends and my mom, and yeah, it was wonderful.
cool. I'd say my favorite way to get to 5K right now, if I could just choose any way I wanted to, I'd probably say paddleboard. Um, just saying, but I mean, whether that's realistic to do tomorrow is a completely different story.
Well, it's also a
So,
little warmer where you're at than we're at. Although we
maybe.
haven't had snow yet this year, so that's just like one of the latest it's ever snowed in Colorado.
Oh, that's because it actually
Yeah,
stopped in California first. It is snowing in Tahoe right now, which is basically where I am. I'm just outside Lake Tahoe.
love it.
So we're getting your snow this year. Yay.
Yes, you can have it.
Um, just so you guys know, also, right after the Friendsgiving 5K, we're having a 40-minute stretch class. So Kelly is going to lead this, and it's stretch 40. You're welcome to join right when it starts. You're also welcome to join late. So if you are going to be out doing your 5K and maybe you don't make it home exactly on time, you do have a 5-minute window. But just saying, if you want to join a little late, it's going to be okay. You can join late. The thing I would suggest, sometimes in our app, it's a little hard to get in late. So if you have that situation, then either go to your email where you signed up for the class and that has the Zoom link there, or go to your calendar if you have a calendar integration and the Zoom link is in the calendar integration too. So if you're trying to get in late, go to either your email or your calendar and you will be able to find it there. Um, and this will be recorded too. PS, for those of you who are not members of the Next Fitness thing, but you are signed up for the 5K, we have given you 30 days free with the Next Fitness thing. So you will be able to join the stretch class as well in 30 days of all kinds of things. Cool. Erin says that she has been doing farmer carry with buckets of water for fish tank water change day. Ooh, that's another one you don't want to smell. Especially
Wait,
in,
how? Yeah, I wonder how big the fish tank is.
yeah, really.
Has to be huge
It must be
or good
pretty big.
sized. Yeah.
Buckets of water for fish tank change day. Yeah. Well, awesome. Share a photo. We definitely want to see. We want to see your fish and we want to see how big your buckets of water are. So definitely want to see it. Okay, also going on this weekend, if you're doing the 5K, this is a perfect chance for active recovery. This is the Walking Book Club. Our Walking Book Club is meeting on Sunday, and the book this month is a Native American book. It is called Where They Last Saw Her by Marcy Rendon, and this will be led by Anna this month. It is on the 23rd, 1 p.m. Pacific. You're welcome to come if you didn't read the book. There'll be spoilers, but you could come if you didn't read the book. It'll be a good chance for you to, kind of walk off your 5K the next day. And if you want another opportunity this coming week, we are having a turkey trot virtually on Thanksgiving as well. So on Thanksgiving morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, we're having a 40-minute turkey trot, and this is a good chance for you to get moving before you feast on Thanksgiving Day. Okay. PS, I just want to call out that for the Next Fitness Thing crew, we are having awards at our holiday party this year. That's the first time we've ever done that. Our holiday party will be Saturday, December 13th at 9 a.m. Pacific, and we will be having, awards for teammates. So for you, that said, we have a survey up right now at survey.thenextfitnessthing.com. Please go there and nominate people for awards. You can nominate yourself, you can nominate other teammates, you can put as many people on each nomination as you want, and you can also put the same person as many times as you want. So go in there and let us know who you think deserves what award so that we have some good ideas for our awards in December. Okay. The other thing to just say is get into our Discord. I'll put the link below in the show notes so that you can find it. And we have all different channels in there to talk about all different topics. It's awesome. All right, now we have one more little topic to just bring up, especially because it is Thanksgiving this coming week. And this topic is kind of specific. It's basically about potatoes. Rachel, are you having like traditional Thanksgiving this year?
Yeah, we do traditional Thanksgiving at my mom's.
Nice. Are you having potatoes?
There will be potatoes, mashed
Nice.
potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. I know mashed
Yeah.
potatoes are like my favorite food. So, what we're talking about here with this extra tip is about resistant starch in potatoes. Okay. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, Rachel?
No.
Yeah. I had a feeling a lot of people don't. Okay. So, basically, what I'm talking about here is you can cook your potatoes in a specific way that will make it so that they have more of like a fiber effect in digestion and less of a blood sugar effect in digestion. And honestly, it's super easy. All you do is you boil the potatoes in advance and then put them in the refrigerator.
That's it?
So yeah, so if you put the potatoes in the refrigerator, I usually do it overnight. And
Okay.
honestly, we eat potatoes around here. We have potatoes like with breakfast a lot of times, and sometimes we'll put potatoes in dinner and stuff. So what we usually do is we just boil potatoes like once a week and keep them in the fridge. And then we use those as we use them. And basically, what happens, it already shared me. If you're in here, please give us your 2 cents on this. My understanding of what happens is that the starch in the potatoes like crystallizes when you cool it down. And even if you reheat them, it stays that way. So that way in digestion, it acts more like fiber. It doesn't spike your blood sugar as much. And it makes it so that, all the things that fiber does. It helps you poop, it makes you feel fuller, it does all of these things. But I know for myself, when I was a kid, like making Thanksgiving with my family, we would always like boil the potatoes and they kind of go straight from there into the process for mashed potatoes, right? But if you can boil them the night before and put them in the fridge, then it's makes the mashed potatoes potentially a little better for your blood sugar and it'll taste the same.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes your Thanksgiving a little easier. So that's my recommendation for Thanksgiving. Um, if anyone else has anything that you want to throw in as your 2 cents of how to make your Thanksgiving a little bit healthier, you guys are welcome to do that in the chat as well. Marissa's asking, you need to boil them. I mean, how do I say that? Yes, you heat them and then cool them, is my understanding. They need to be cooked and then cooled. I don't think boiling is mandatory. If you wanted to like bake them and put them in the refrigerator instead or something else, like you probably could. I don't think it's mandatory that it's boiling, but it seems like boiling kind of makes the potato softer always. So even if you were going to use it as a baked potato or anything you're going to do with the potato, making French fries, making anything, if they're already pre-boiled, it kind of makes it a better experience always, generally, I would say. Um, Marissa says not cook them in the oven. Oh, I think you can cook them in the oven if you want to. Yeah. Oh, Erin is giving us info on the fish tank. She says it's 10 gallons. So she has two 5-gallon buckets. Okay, good for you. That's hardcore.
That's good.
I would say the farmer carry is kind of extra hard when you only have one side because you're like,
Yeah.
ah.
Lopsided, or you have to do the switch.
Oh yeah, especially that, doing the switch.
Or
Exactly.
maybe you carry it forward in front of you like this.
Oh, yeah, this is the high pole. We just did that in class this week, the high pole.
Yeah.
That then when it splashes out of the bucket, it gets on your
Your
face and
face.
on your
Okay, maybe not.
Mom says, my mom's in here and says it makes potato salad more acceptable without the starch. Yeah, totally. So for something like potato salad, you've already boiled the potato that way. It's already in the refrigerator. You're gonna eat the potato salad cold anyway, so it's kind of perfect for potato salad. Yep, nice. Okay, awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Rachel, do you have anything else that you wanted to say in here? Or you have this platform right now, so anything else you want to say, you're welcome to say it.
Feel like I left you with it just to ask people about ask people about their person. They will really appreciate it, and just to have a happy Thanksgiving, enjoy time with your friends and family, and Oh, I know. And if you know someone that is alone for Thanksgiving, invite them over. Be brave. That's not always easy
Yes.
for people.
That is a beautiful offering right there. Yes, yes, yes. Aw. Well, thank you. It's been such a gift to have you here on the show with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for all you shared. And thank you for sharing Ryan with us. It's just great to be part of his memory too.
Yeah, he's an amazing kid. So live your life big this weekend.
All right. And
Thanks for
always,
having me.
totally.
Yes, and always.
All right. Well, team, thanks for being here. We love you. See you tomorrow at the Friendsgiving 5K. We're really looking forward to it. All right. See you soon. Bye, guys. All right. We are going to turn the music on and dance it out a little bit at the end. Oh, yeah. You're a dancer. Here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah.